Greetings, I am Lies.
And I am Scandal.
And let's quit a job together.
Yes! We're gonna say goodbye and yeet ourselves out the door because why not?
Honestly, this is the most emotional scene that I've encountered in this entire game.
Yes.
Like, she is genuinely broken up and uncomfortable about this. And this also feels like everything coming to a head for her, really, in this experience of going, I've been stressed, I've been anxious, I've been wanting to try and find a way out of this or try and figure out who I am or find my identity or some autonomy or something. And she's really, this is her culminating in resignation to she cannot fight her fate. It's going to just happen to her.
Right.
And that is what this step is right here. And it honestly, it works for me. Like whatever else I haven't been able to access about the game, I can feel this piece of her going, when I say these lines, it means that my fate is sealed.
Yeah,
That's what is happening to me is I will be married to one of them, and I will, whatever happens after that will happen to me.
Honestly, it's one of those things that makes me almost kind of uncomfortable in a level of going, like, she doesn't actually really see, like, I can understand being torn. Like,
Yes.
I get that. But I'm also like, you really also don't really seem to want to be with any of the dragon princes at all. But again, Smol literally has no cultural context and has no information really about the dragon world at all, period. She's literally going to go to some place that she has no idea.
She also wasn't seemingly unhappy in her life. So this isn't a girl who was disenfranchised, disconnected, frustrated, and unable to get anywhere, who then was offered a way out and attached onto it really hard. This was a girl who was developing her writing career, who seemed to have friends that she was comfortable with, whose neighbors were really comfortable with her, who felt like she had a good relationship with her grandpa.
Right.
She was very independent because of the lack of her parents kind of thing. And so they showed up and she was told, your identity, which seems stable and balanced, doesn't exist.
Yes.
And then she was expected to choose the rest of her life.
Yep, right now, immediately. No pressure.
Like, so this is honestly a rough premise when you look at it. Like, that is a lot to deal with.
Though, honestly, if I had to think about it, I almost wish, in a weird way, that she was 18.
Right?
Because the thing is that, so in the United States, the heavy thing about, like, you're 18 years old, you are suddenly going to be completely separated from everything you're familiar with, everything you're comfortable with. Like, she still lives with her parents, basically, or at least, like, with her parents' family. Right. She's still connected very heavily to them at age 21.
Right. She lives at home. She works in her grandfather's shop. Like,
she is still pretty heavily, basically, like, protected, I guess, in that way.
She's unexposed. She's still very unexposed to the world.
Right. And the thing is what I've seen for other, like, basically what I've listened to other people talk about, like, where they're like, oh, I don't understand how you could ever move out kind of thing. And I'm like, that's so common in the United States to just, like, move out. And around other parts of the world, as far as I understand, most people really don't. They go and they live with, like, cousins or relatives.
Or if they get married, they move out to that family sometimes or something like that. But, like, in America, it's really standard. As soon as you hit your age of majority, you're expected to move out. Yeah. Whether it's to move out to go to college, depending on your economics and your goals, or just to move out, you're an adult now. You need to go make your way. Like my brother didn't even necessarily have plans when he moved out, so much as you move out when you're 18.
Yeah, that's just what you do.
And so he went and did it. And I didn't move out until I was actually like 19. Right. But it was just barely 19. Right. And it was one of those things of going, I just felt like I should be doing something. Right. And so I ran away and followed a boy. Right.
And I moved out in order to basically run away from my parents. Yeah. So that was very, like, this is a thing where I'm like, for all of us, I think so far that we've been talking about, we personally didn't really feel any strong need or basically strong connection to staying at home.
At all. I had no reason to stay there, and honestly, with me still, my mom being disabled, I didn't want to be there and just be the only person there caretaking for her after my brother had left.
I can imagine that would be exhausting.
Like, no, she doesn't need live-in care, but you still, that ends up being
you end up
a lot
what
of
you're
what
doing,
happens.
yeah, especially because she doesn't go out
I also
much.
was tired of all the endless cycle of dating people. Like, I really was. And it's just like, I've never really been comfortable with other people's romance, especially when it seems to involve you. Right. Now, like, it's fine. They can have their romance over there, and that's great. I support romance. I adore romance. I am a very deeply romantic person in some ways. Like, profoundly at times. Right. I say, but that is one of those things of just like, I don't like to be involved in other people's romance. And so when you are someone's child and they are dating and you live at home, you're involved somehow. Right. Like, it's there. Yeah. Anyway, I'm quitting.
You? Quit? How can you? What about your grandfather? Does he know?
Yes, he knows.
Where will you be going? You'd better not be joining that other cafe.
That's so charming. You're gonna go work for the competition, aren't you? We're not that bad. We can be fine. We can beat them.
I'm also like, in some ways, it probably wouldn't actually be much better to go work for somebody else other than to go, hi, by the way, I have basically, this is runs in my family. We run cafes.
I just think it's kind of cute if him go, you're not gonna go work for that other cafe, are you?
I feel like that's a stereotype, but also at the same time, too, that can actually become really dangerous. Because sometimes employers really can go...
Put the pressure on, you have to work for us.
But there's also the thing, too, where there's been cases of they will literally call up and lie, or they will basically, if the other company decides to call them, they will lie about you as an employee to keep you around.
So that you can't get hired.
So you can't go get another job. There's actually so much danger in the United States in regards to people going, oh yeah, just get your references, it's fine. And I've always found it to be weird anyway with references. I am so bad at getting them, where they're all like, you need to have references, and I'm like, I don't know people that I work with. I tend to stick to my stuff and do my things.
See, and the reason I end up with references is because I always end up getting promoted into some kind of more important position, because I'm just ridiculously reliable. Like, I never call off, I never miss a day, I always do what I'm told, that kind of thing. And so, within reason of the rules that have been established, kind of thing. I'm just very, as I've said before, very boring in my jobs. You tell me what to do, I will go do it. And I will get it done. And so I get this experience where then my bosses are all like, I'll be your reference when you're leaving. And so then I have 4 or 5 people that you can call all these people if you want to.
See, and for me, I think a lot of it was that I never really, number one, knew how to ask or how to get them. And then the other thing was, too, is usually by the time that I was leaving, even when I was doing my 2-week sign-offs, was typically because I was like, I couldn't stand the environment anymore. Because past the point, to anyone there, and I didn't want to talk to anyone, plus also the fact that really, like, I couldn't stand the hypocrisy. Like, once you really do start getting, like, I always felt like once you really got inundated with basically the work culture and the language and what was going on, you really started watching, at least to me, for all the places that I started working, you just watched a lot of people get abused constantly. It was super, and it is frustrating. This is one of the big reasons why actually I was motivated to try to do this YouTube thing with my friend. I would love to be successful at this with my friend Liz, because I am so tired personally of being abused, of watching so many people being abused under the system that basically motivates the United States, which is capitalism. And I don't know what else to do, because obviously I'm involved in it, and I'm sure some smart person's gonna come and go, oh, yeah, well, you're in, yes. Clearly, you criticize this thing, and yet you also exist inside this thing.
You also participate in it.
And you're like, what the fuck else am I supposed to do?
Well, leave the country, obviously.
And go somewhere else where capitalism does not exist, and the rest of the United States doesn't try to exert its basically nuclear war penis everywhere.
Oh my God.
That's what it feels like.
I'm like, oh my God.
Anyway.
No, of course not.
What then?
I'm getting married. Mr. Stanley spits out his coffee right onto his desk.
Oh, great!
Hurriedly, he grabs some tissues, mopping up the spill. Sorry, I didn't mean to give you a shock.
Married? You must be kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Oh my God. Who's the lucky guy? Wait. Let me guess. It's one of the hot guys. Yeah, it's one of them, the K-pop, the J-pop dudes. The 3 guys who are always coming in here just to see you.
I blush at that, wondering if it's really true.
I mean, it is. Wow. You young kids are crazy.
I told you. So I posited a while ago that he really was going to be like this, a young person just eloping immediately. That's what he's going to be like. You just met, and you're going to elope out the window.
So, I've hated this because this is so much untrue. The thing that's always cracked me up about basically, because I'm going to interpret Mr. Stanley as a boomer, right? Is that him being extremely critical makes no sense to me in that regard, or even sometimes teasing about it. Is because I have always known a ton of boomers who were like, I was 19 and I got married. I was 20 and I got married. I just got out of high school and got married. Like, the level of going, oh, you guys, you got married too fast, or gosh, it's so fast. And then lots of them going, well, later on.
that too.
Yeah, and then also there's this level of going as well, of being like, well, maybe we also shouldn't have, but we're having a grand old time in our life. And I'm like, yeah, and you guys seem totally happy, which is completely sarcastic on my end. Sometimes, because you can watch them be really unhappy. And then, like, with my parents, my mom was actually, like, late, mid-20s, actually.
Okay.
And then, so my mom was, like, 5 years older than my dad.
Yeah.
But it was just like one of those things where my mom, you know, I guess she'd been engaged once and then she wasn't. And then like my dad actually had been married for about a year beforehand, which always makes me laugh of why I found out like that, like I found that out years ago. And my dad was like, yeah, I was married. And I was like, why have you never goddamn brought this up? He's like, well, because it wasn't really relevant. And I'm like, but it was such a huge deal. You know, it was like, oh, we were married for a year. And then I found out my wife didn't want to have kids. And I was like, fuck, did you marry someone and not, if that was your goal,
and you didn't know
not find
that their ideology was diametrically opposed to yours.
And that's the big thing.
Or their life goals, their interests, what have you.
Right?
All right.
Wow. Wow. You young kids are crazy. But hey, it's your life. As long as you just keep it over there and do yourselves and do your, it's fine, you know. And I'm like, you are so non-supportive. I just hope you're making the right choice. Let's grind this in a little bit.
They haven't established that we have a good relationship with him
at all. No.
So there's no reason he needs to be supportive, and he could be really blindsided by essentially how personal this is. Because even though he works for your grandpa, they may not be close at all.
Yeah. No. Not at all.
They may barely even know each other.
I was actually going to say
he could just be hired for this position.
I still think the way that I kind of picture him is he's probably somebody who kind of resents Smol for being in this position of really
essentially nepotism.
Yeah,
and going.
But also,
I don't
she
know
really
how I
does.
can treat you. Also, with as little communications people have, there really could be I don't know what I'm allowed to and not allowed to treat you.
Yes.
How I'm supposed to favor or not favor you, and it even makes me treat you better too much and worse too much sometimes in this strong dichotomy because I'm really confused and don't have clear boundaries.
So you mean like the roommate that I had a while ago who was like, I'm doing these things and I was doing these things to be polite and that's what it is, and
you have a night job, so I'm super quiet during the day. I've told you you don't have to do it. But I do it, and I do it for you. But I've told you I don't want you to do it. I don't need you to do it. I'm a really sound sleeper. Well, but I do that for you. And it's really hard for me, and it's so much work.
I've told you to. Sorry, we've had a personal experience with the previous roommate that was interesting, and I really hope she goes and gets help. I don't know.
All right.
I just hope you're making the right choice. Grinding it in. Here we go.
Me too.
Oh,
wow. Is that the time? I really need to get going.
Well, I guess I'll start looking for your replacement. We'll miss you when you leave.
Thanks.
I wish you the best of luck, Smol.
Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow, Mr. Stanley.
Gosh, that'd be hard. So, this is potentially 2 weeks from now?
It's my phone.
It is her phone. Is it gonna be her
parents?
parents?
Come on. A text?
A text?
Oh, maybe a text. Hold on. Oh, it's from... Hang on, who the fuck is that?
That's Rye.
Are you fucking
That's
sure?
Rye.
Oh my
yes,
god.
that is Rye.
That icon is so ridiculous.
And it also says Rye.
I'm so sorry, look at this icon.
Smol,
Okay,
please come out into the garden.
Just look at your damn screen. This icon is fucking hilarious. Did he get someone to draw fan art of him on like prodigy.net and just used it as an icon?
It looks like what happened is they took a picture of his head and then they flipped it.
And then squished it.
Because see how his hair is
the long hair's still over here.
Oh, no, they just took a picture of it and just minimized it.
But it's the proportions look wrong. It looks terrible.
I mean, when you make it very
please come
small.
to the garden. Okay.
I have a surprise for you.
He is very spontaneous. Another surprise?
Oh, dear.
Do we have a garden? You're spoiling.
You're spoiling.
You're spoiling me. Rye, send.
That's crazy, send.
He wrote THAT apostrophe S. Crazy. Each of these bubbles.
He might have a huge number of things. All right. I don't think I could ever spoil you enough.
Just pink send. Just so good.
Smiley face send. Now, come down here.
Does our house have a garden? Is it like the public garden? Is it like the homeowners association garden? Like, do we have a garden?
Do we have it? Before I go up and get you myself.
I'm not actually up here. You came through my damn window the other day and I pushed you out of it. It's not that high.
I have a weird thing almost where I'm like, Rye, master of T9 for no particular reason.
T9?
Yeah, the T9 pad.
Oh,
it's called T9.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. All
right.
It's
literally a T and a 9.
Okay, I'm coming.
Send. There you are.
This looks like the street.
This also looks like the park where we were with Dylan.
No,
which one is it?
Where are we? We're just standing on a median out in front of our house, in between the two lanes.
Welcome to the garden.
To the garden, because they're growing things here. It's a garden. It's good enough. We're like, sometimes you're so believable, as like you know everything, and then this.
We're like looking around in our yard, going, where are we going? Where's the guy? And then we look over there, and he's standing in the meeting going, hello! And you're
the
like,
flowers, the nice landscape median, the garden. Yes,
the
all right, I got
garden.
it. Yes.
That's so bad completely.
And we're just
Just
like,
sort of,
conceptually, that is a garden.
You are
You're not wrong.
my garden.
But there we go. All right.
Hey, I already said there you
It's
are.
fine.
You're always a sight for sore eyes, my lovely princess.
They are really laying it on thick.
They
Every one of
really
them.
are.
Right. He looks so handsome under the moonlight.
I mean, it helps. It just makes it so I can't see him as well.
So the soft diffusing of his features, so I really can't see him all that well. He looks great.
So I'll take a candle and hold it up under the moonlight.
So you look completely forlorn and desperate. Want me?
I've heard the pantaloons, they must be high.
I only expose your ankles if you're extremely desperate. Right. I smile. I'm pausing to take a look around. So, what's the surprise? Other than you outside my house?
Pain! No.
Where did you get that? Put it back. Oh my God. Whose is it?
I found it on the ground.
Oh God. Why are you showing me? They're fascinating, aren't
And then me holding this rubber dildo. Rolling this rubber dildo.
I found this thing. It's amazing. Waving at you with it. Hello.
Holy fuck, I'm gonna die.
It's like sleeping on toast, my friend.
Waves at you with this rubber.
It just wobbles back and forth. Just a minute.
Just a minute. Give me just a minute. I got a little tube here attached to the
Oh God. They called it something like pad jacket, but I don't think it looks like that at all.
I don't understand. I'm gonna cry. I'm laughing.
He comes over off of the median, grasping either side of my waist. Pep, because your waist,
With a penis in his
because your
hand.
waist only has two sides. It doesn't have a front and a back and a side, a left and a right. Only two sides. We are literally two-dimensional.
Also,
All
I'm
right.
like, your waist is actually pretty high up. Your natural
I know.
waist, well, it depends on the person. So it's more actually like,
But the thing is
like
either
yours, like right
side.
here.
Well, a lot of people do that. They'll put their hands on your waist. A lot of them do it on your hips, though. But we're short, so he probably would have to reach down quite a bit to get to our
I
hips.
love that awareness. But you know, we're short.
So he just his
Shit.
hand falls on our waist, you know?
Right?
Either side of my waist. Rye lifts me up, planting me on a low
He
tree
is
branch.
9 feet tall.
He swings me into the air
In the
and
median.
shoves me up out of the tree branch in the middle of the street on the median, and I'm like,
Isn't this romantic? Stands there, has this dick in his face. There, best seat in the house.
as I look down at him going, okay, car drives by, driver looking confused.
Driver.
What are you guys
What
doing?
is this
Kids,
weirdly dressed,
this?
this unusually dressed man holding a floppy dildo?
Is he brandishing a weapon? Is that a weapon? No,
It
no,
looks
it's
like a tiny child up in that tree.
my friend's gonna die. All you need to do is add a big floppy dildo and my friend will die. That's it.
I gotta pee.
Oh God. Okay. All right. You're so silly, right?
I mean, you're the one who came with the penis and then dragged it out.
I did the toast one, so it's okay. It's all right. You're okay. You're gonna die.
Oh, no, it's part of my charms.
Oh, Oh my God. He turns around. Oh no. To the trees opposite. He does sprint. He sprints across the street, swinging this jiggling, wobbling thing in your hand, and you jump into a tree opposite it. But he goes into this trees.
So he goes across the way into one of the other trees.
Out of the median, across the street, and into like the trees opposite. And then, but he doesn't go into the trees. All right, anyway, he turns around, doing a sprint to the trees opposite. Mysterious as ever. Is he not mysterious?
So mysterious.
So mysterious.
It's like the person going up the staircase
And then dropping the box. So that's what I was picturing. So there's this vine where somebody's running up the stairs holding this cardboard box. And they just trip. and the box falls, and just dildos and rubber penises just fall out of bouncing and wobbling everywhere. Just this spilling and tumbling and bouncing and wiggling, and it's kind of amazing. Anyway, mysterious as ever.
Oh, well, you know, we're kind of out of time.
My friend's gonna die.
So thank you very much, guys, for watching. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. We live now.
Put a dildo in the comments.
And also, if you want to support us, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon. We got some links in the description.
We do.
But other than that, my God, I have been scared.
And I have been lost. My friend is just making this gesture, like wobbling this thing everywhere, like just holding like a firework and just foofing it around on like the 4th of July, or like you know, like lashing, like whipping it around. It's just.
I'm like,
Anyway, and I have been Lies, and it was great playing with you. Bye.